Hi friends, welcome to my online money-making channel. Here in a regular blog format, I show you my work routine. And today, I'll continue working with my favorite strategy, which allowed me to earn quite a nice amount and withdraw it to my wallet over the past month. In my work, I use this kind of free signal indicator. This is what the signals look like. The win rate on this chart is currently around 75%. Now I'm going to show you how to find it and how I personally use this indicator in my work. And before I even start working on the strategy, I must make sure that no economic news will be released in the near future. For this, I open a site called Investing, and here I immediately go to the Economic Calendar tab. So I wait for the main page to load, and then I open the economic calendar to see when the next economic news will be released. The thing is, when news comes out, the markets become volatile. And to avoid this volatility, I try not to open trades when any economic news is released. Now, I see that the news will be released in 12 minutes, and I have a little time left, about 10 minutes, to make a trade. Then, I open the TradingView website. The main indicators are already on this site. I go to this site. Here, I logged into my personal account, but I don't buy anything here. That is, I only use the free version, which is available after registration. So, on this site, I go to the Products tab and open the Super Charts. I work specifically with super charts. So, I have all my super charts open, and the first thing I do is remove all unnecessary indicators from the chart. I do this because with the free plan, you can add no more than 2 indicators per chart. And exactly these 2 indicators are the ones I need. Now I am starting to add them. The first indicator I will add is the signal indicator. If anything, I will leave the name of all the indicators in a pinned comment from where you can quickly copy the name. So I'm adding this indicator. Regarding the chart settings, I'm setting a 1-minute candle time frame because I want to receive signals for 1 minute. Depending on which time frame I choose here, that's the duration for which I'll get signals. Since I'm opening 1-minute trades with the broker, I specifically need 1-minute signals here. After adding the indicator, I got statistics on the indicator and signals on the chart. So I'll start with the statistics. Here, it briefly shows how many signals have been given on this chart recently. Currently, the statistics account for just under 11,000 signals, and the average win rate of the signals is 74%, so that's quite a decent parameter. Then, about how signals appear. Signals appear only with a new candle. So right now, there is an open candle. It will remain open for just over 30 seconds. Here on the side, there is a time, and during this time, no new signals will appear. As soon as a new candle appears, there is a possibility that a new signal will appear with it. There are 2 types of signals accordingly. If a red arrow appears pointing down, it is a signal for a down trade. If a blue arrow appears pointing up, it means a signal for an up trade has appeared. The signal has its greatest strength in the very first minute after it appears. So, as soon as the signal with the candle appears, it has its greatest strength. And accordingly, since it has its greatest strength in the very first minute, I can also check how the signal and indicator are currently performing in the current market situation. Here, the statistics are presented for quite a long period of time, but depending on what is happening on the markets now, the indicator may work differently. And it's important for me to understand how the indicator is working right now before starting work. How do I do this? I take the last signal, for example, and see that it was a down trade signal. It appeared with this candle, and while this candle was open for a minute, the price fell because the candle is red. This means that this signal ended in profit. If I had entered a trade based on it, I would have closed my trade in profit as well. Before that, there was an up trade signal with a green candle next to it. So when this signal was given, the price increased within a minute, and accordingly, this signal also worked in profit. Thus, I check about 10 recent signals, and preferably at least 8 out of 10 signals should have closed in profit in recent times. If I see exactly such statistics, then I understand that the indicator is currently performing well in the current market situation, and I can work with this currency pair and this chart. If I see, for example, that 5 out of 10 signals closed with a loss, which can also happen, then I need to change the chart. However, I don't necessarily need to change the currency pair itself. Right now, for example, I have the Euro and Swiss franc currency pair open. I can switch to search here. I have Euro and Swiss franc entered in the search bar, and I can see a large number of currency pairs in front of me with minimal differences in the charts themselves. So basically, these are currency pairs and quotes from different quote providers. And if I see that, for example, on the first chart I have a bad win rate, like here there are 11,000 signals and 74% win rate, I can just open a chart from another quote provider. Visually, there won't be much difference, but for the indicator, it might be critical. For example, here for the last 11,000 signals, the win rate is 72%, which is slightly lower. So, accordingly, I choose the quote provider where the indicator is currently performing the best. And here's the first way to work with it. Just sit and wait for a new signal. So, I open the chart and I'm waiting for a new signal. But I work a little differently. I also use additional indicators and, if necessary, I can enter based on the last signal so as not to wait long for a new signal. So, for example, the last signal was more than 10 minutes ago. And so that I don't have to wait long for a new signal, I can add another indicator here on TradingView and I'll add another indicator on the broker. Briefly about what this second indicator is, which I added, I'll also leave its name in the pinned comment. So, this indicator draws a channel where the price is currently located. This channel automatically redraws and constantly updates its information to show the current price range. And the second indicator that I will additionally need is already available on the broker's platform. So here I open the broker's website, my trading account is open, and here I set up the chart. I need to choose the candlestick chart type and set 30-second candles here. So if on TradingView I used 1-minute candles, here I need exactly 30-second ones, and then I add an indicator called SAR. As for settings, I use the default ones that are immediately available after adding. If anything, here they are on the screen. The only thing I change is the indicator style, just so it's a bit more noticeable for me. And now I will tell you how I enter trades in cases where there hasn't been a new signal for a long time. And at the same time, I'll start working. So, first of all, I choose a currency pair to work with on the broker. To do this, I open the Asset Selection menu, and here I choose absolutely any currency pair, just make sure it doesn't have the OTC mark. I see in the list that there is Swiss franc and Japanese yen without the OTC mark, so I will open this currency pair. Then I open the same currency pair on the TradingView website. I enter Swiss franc and Japanese yen. First, I open the very first chart that appeared, and I look at what is currently happening on the chart. Just a small clarification on the signal indicator here. Sometimes it happens that I open the chart and there's already a signal on the last candle. For example, I could open the chart right now and there would be a signal here. I absolutely do not enter a trade on such a signal because in this case, the signal might disappear. This is a characteristic of how the indicator works. To ensure the signal is not missed, it's important that it appears together with the new candle when I'm looking at the chart. So, if the signal appears while I'm there, I act on it. If I open the chart and the signal was already on the last candle, then I don't enter the trade on it. So, now a new candle has come out and no new signal has appeared. In this case, I can enter a trade on the last signal. I find the last signal. Here it was an up trade. And now, in order to enter an up trade, I need two parameters to match. First, the price must be below the upper boundary of this corridor. And secondly, the SAR indicator on the broker should show that we have an ongoing upward movement. According to the first condition, I see that we are below the upper boundary of the channel. However, the SAR indicator started indicating a price reversal and now the price is going down. Therefore, I am not entering into a trade on this chart. I can wait about 10 seconds now and a new candle will appear, maybe a new down signal will appear, and in that case, I'll just follow the signal. If I enter a trade based on the signal, I no longer wait for any information from additional indicators. I just open the trade according to the signal, and right now there's a signal for a down trade, and I entered the trade based on it. I entered the trade for 1 minute because I set 1 minute in TradingView. I receive 1 minute signals, and accordingly, I also open 1 minute trades with the broker. The only thing I forgot to mention is checking how the signal performed on the chart before, but it seems like the signals were performing well on this chart. Okay, so in principle, I hope this trade will close with a profit. By the way, we can see that the channel has redrawn now. I can go back to the broker's site, and here I am just waiting for my trade to close. A trade might close at a loss. It's quite normal, it happens. In that case, I just double the trade amount. So currently, my open trade is for $430. If it closes at a loss, then I open the next trade with double the amount. I just multiply the trade amount by 2 here, and I will open the next trade for $860. However, my trade closes with a profit. The signal works well, so there's no sense in doubling the amount. Returning back to the TradingView website, no new signals have appeared. We can see that the channel has redrawn, and we are much higher than the lower boundary of the new channel, and the SAR indicator is also showing a downward movement. Therefore, without waiting for a new signal, I will now enter a down trade for 1 minute, and here I will already prepare for doubling just in case. Regarding balance distribution, I'll also explain this in a bit more detail. I enter trades using an amount that does not exceed 1% of my balance. So I am opening trades now for $430 precisely so that I have many opportunities for covering. That is, to repeat, if my trade closes at a loss, I simply open the next trade by doubling the amount. And if this trade closes at a loss, the next one I'll open at $860. And if that one closes at a profit, it will recoup the loss from the first trade, the one for $430, and I'll earn a bit more on top. If the next doubling trade also ends with a loss, I will double the amount again and open another trade with another doubling. This is exactly how I work. So there are only a few seconds left until the trade ends, and now the trade closes exactly at break even. So I get my money back, and there's no point in doubling. Here I can get back $430. However, I won't enter the next trade because in 30 seconds an economic news will be released and there might be increased volatility, and at this moment I don't enter trades. I'll be wrapping up my video here. I hope you found it useful and interesting. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. On my channel, I share and show everything absolutely for free. I don't have any paid courses, so the best thank you from you would be your engagement in the form of likes and subscriptions to my channel. Also, remember that on my channel, everything I do is just sharing my personal experience. I'm not giving any financial advice. With that, I say goodbye to you. Good luck.